why this is such an important thing. And by the way, the day that I learned about this, it created a very deep impact on me, and I really want to share this with you guys because it has very huge, profound meaning. This was like a pet project by one of the mathematicians in early 20th century, but over a period of time, this has become one of the most significant discoveries that that modern science has made, and this has been used in the creation of Teflon, in the creation of non-stick pans, in the creation of ultra-hard durable materials. Just because of this geometry, they are right now using this for nanotechnology, and it is amazing. It's simple. It's not easy to understand, but at the same time, it's simple. It's weird. I know. I'm gonna share with you, but I just want to say that for me, this really taught me about the truth of creation. And when I say creation, I'm talking about it in terms of what is the universe, in terms of the world, in terms of our life, in terms of everything. It is a graphical representation of a mathematical formula that explains many things. And at least to me, and I want to share this with you guys, okay? But before that, I'm gonna spotlight my video first. I'm gonna share with you this thing here first. Today, for the past few days, I've been going through NLP class, and what I've learned, there's something called the presuppositions. So what I've noticed is that whenever they just teach the techniques of NLP, people aren't able to utilize the techniques of NLP to the best effect. So what do? They actually taught this thing called presuppositions. And when you learn the presupposition, you are actually learning the worldviews, the perspectives, the spirit of NLP. And there are 16 presuppositions in all. I'm not going to tell you all of it, but one of the presuppositions is crucial for you to understand in order for you to understand how does the Penrose patterns tell you the truth about a universe. And the first presupposition is the map is not the territory. This is so important. I'm going to write it down. The map is not the territory. NLP presupposition. One of the 16. Okay. There you go. Okay, the map is not the territory. What does this mean? The map represents your understanding of how things work, how the world works, how you work, how other people work. It is a representation of your beliefs, everything that you think about. And it's a lot, right? And a lot of times we are very attached to the things we think is right. We are very attached to the things we think is correct. It's the right way, it's the right way, it's the absolute truth. But what NLP's presupposition says is that the map is not the territory. So the territory is a representation of everything that is. Everything that is. So if you are living in Malaysia and if you don't have the benefit of a GPS and you want to manually create a map, you are going to have to walk through and navigate all the buildings, all the forests, and all the meanwhile you're tracing the line, right? So what happens when we are growing up is that our parents have been walking the journey of life for a while, and what they do is that they teach us their map. Likewise, in schools, in the transference of knowledge, in schools, in colleges, in whatever, in any form of transference of knowledge, we have been given the map, so to speak. So whenever I teach fitness, I'm giving my map. Whenever other people teach me, when I go to this class with NLP, basically my teacher has given me his map, or rather NLP's map of how human psychology works. So even though the map is comprehensive, even though the map has a lot of things, it is not necessary that, hi Sam, it is not necessary that the map is the territory. So it is very important to understand. So this is very important because of this. Now, this thing right here, this thing right here is actually a pet project by a mathematician who asked himself, how many patterns can I create, right? Based on a given tile. Okay, so as an example, when you, by the way, this is something that I don't fully understand yet, but it is fascinating nonetheless. This whole thing right here, and you can notice this. You can notice that the color changes, right? So if I zoom in on any one of the surface right here, okay, if I zoom in on any one of the surface right here, I can look at this and I say, okay, that's a pattern. But this pattern is never to be repeated. This pattern will not be repeated here. As you notice, it's different pattern now, right? There's a slight difference over here and here as compared to here. So it has a slight difference in terms of the pattern. And no matter how big this is magnified, this pattern will never repeat itself. Now, here's the crazy bit. All of these patterns are created with just these two patterns, a kite and a dart. A kite and a dart, that's all. So with just these two geometry, if you add it together, if you combine it, if you combine it in some way, shape, or form, if you combine this and this together, the kite and the dart together, and you turn it into a pentagram, you turn it into a star shape, it will create an infinite amount of patterns that will never repeat itself. It's fascinating. I'm not sure how you find it, but I find it absolutely fascinating. Because with two predictable elements, it creates an infinite variety of unpredictable elements. But there's a problem with this representation. The problem is that the scientists, the mathematicians, they discovered that if you add the thing as an example like this, yeah, if you just add it in one from starting from here, you add one kite here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. If you add one kite here and one dart here, okay, one kite here and one dart elsewhere, and you decided to add from another angle over here. By the way, if what I'm saying doesn't make sense to you, you can just go to YouTube and type in Penrose tiling. I guarantee you the explanation on YouTube is significantly much better than mine. But nonetheless, this is what I understand from it. You can add from here, but you can add from another area, and eventually it will not fit anymore. Okay, let me just highlight my spotlight. If you add from here, you can start growing the Penrose pattern here. And if you just continue add on this side, it will eventually create a pattern again. But if you add on this side and this side, eventually you're gonna face a problem. It will not fit. So the scientists discovered that if you turn these two-dimensional patterns into a three-dimensional patterns like this, it will fit perfectly. No matter where you start it from, as long as it's three-dimensional, it will fit perfectly. And this thing right here, I'm gonna spotlight again. This thing right here is a three-dimensional version of these patterns here, right here. It's a three-dimensional version. And this is the one that is being used to create ultra-hard material. And this is called quasi-crystals. Quasi-crystals. So what is the meaning of this? Why is this so significant to me? It's so significant to me. I'm gonna spotlight myself now. It is so significant to me because there is a pattern in the universe. There is a pattern that I do. There is a pattern that you do. And the thing right now is that we as humans, we can only see a limited area of that pattern. We can only see a limited area of that pattern. And because we see only this limited area, we either fall into the trap of, oh, everybody is different, everything is unpredictable, everything is confusing, or we fall into the other pattern, which is everyone is the same, which is a generalization. It is a reductionist mentality. People like to say money is the root cause of all evil. You know, it is a pandemic. COVID-19 actually doesn't exist. The earth is flat. This creates this behavior in us that we are craving for a answer. We are craving for an answer because we don't want to see anymore. We want to make sure that our life is easy, is predictable, is certain, but nothing is certain. And when something comes that challenges our belief systems, our map, something comes along and challenges our map, we get triggered or we get insecure. And when we get triggered and insecure, we will either choose to avoid confronting the problem, or we will choose to fight to defend our position. But none of this is actually necessary. It's completely unnecessary. Because the truth of the matter is, we cannot see the whole truth. We can only see the truth that we can see when we pay attention. So when we pay attention to the surrounding territory, we can see the pattern, but nothing looks like the same. And the only way for us to see the whole pattern is if we have an eyesight that can see into infinity. So that is what I want to share today. I'm not sure if it is confusing. Most likely what I just mentioned was confusing, but I would like to have some dialogue with you guys, you know, like tell me about what is the questions that you guys can raise about this particular thing, and I will go and find out, and it will help me to learn as well. I'll go and find out and make a video on it. All right, so Penrose pattern, very, very interesting. I think I'm going to do another video on this because it's a very significant video for me. It's a very significant topic for me, and I'm most definitely going to do it again, but not today. All right, when I'm more prepared, I will make a proper video on this. In the meantime, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 6:45 a.m. Stay safe, stay healthy.